Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm happy that you're back and happy that you are choosing to spend your time with me. Today's video is part 2 in a depression cycle series. So basically I documented my latest depression cycle and I wanted to share it with you, not for the purpose of sympathy or empathy, but more for the purpose of education. What it's like for someone who is going through depression and anxiety, and some of the tips and tricks that I do to help myself out of it, and some things that you can do as a friend or a family member of someone who is going through depression and anxiety to help them through it. I will say that this video and the videos in this series could be a trigger for some of you that struggle with depression and anxiety. So I ask that you, if you think that this could be a trigger for you, that you not watch this video. If you are watching this video and you're a friend and a family, I ask that you would use this video for educational purposes and educate yourself on how to help someone through anxiety and depression. So without further ado, here we go. Hey guys, it is day 4 on what I would like to call a cycle of depression. My cycles of depression used to last a lot longer. They used to be a lot harder to get out of. I used to not like to talk about them to other people. For me, my depression used to cripple me into thinking that I was the only one going through it. That people around me wouldn't understand what I was going through, and that people are going to judge me regardless. And so this is not the end of my depression cycle. I can tell you that right now. This is a somewhat of a good day, I guess. I'm up, I'm dressed. Well, technically I'm sitting in my bed, but I'm up and I'm dressed. I've gone to work, I would say work, and I functioned, and now I'm home. I still have most of the day to go. It's around noon right now. But this is just one of those days. When someone is dealing with depression, for those of you that don't know, when someone is dealing with depression, they're not sad all of the time. There's good moments, right? There's good moments, there's good days, there's good weeks, but there is an underlying grief or sadness. On the surface, they may look like they're okay, they may sound like they're okay, they may act like they're okay. That's the fake it till you make it strategy for those who deal with depression. Today, I can honestly say that there is that underlying tinge of sadness underneath, but I'm not, it's not controlling me today, which is great. That's amazing. My bed's not made. But my success of the day is that I went to work and now I'm home. That's the success of the day. And I functioned while I was at work. That's the other half of it. You can go to work, but then not function at work. But today I had like 2 successes. I went to work and I functioned. Amazing. You know, part of depression is deeper than the surface, than what it looks like on the surface. Yesterday I had to preach a sermon, and that is the hardest thing to do when you're working on a depression cycle. Is one of the hardest things to do. I allowed the people I was around and I allowed the moment I was in to be a distraction from my depression. And before people on here start hopping on saying, okay, you're a pastor, shouldn't you be true to yourself? Shouldn't you be transparent? This is why I don't trust pastors. This is why I don't trust the church. That's not it at all. Hey guys, as I'm editing this video, I'm realizing that my heart isn't being truly clear in what I'm trying to tell you guys. So real quick, What I'm trying to say in this whole, you can't come sit on my couch every day thing, is that for me to be as effective, genuine, and intentional as I possibly can be in being a pastor, my personality dictates that I need to recharge, I need to set boundaries, and I need to have space that I can call my own so that I can recharge myself. Because if I pour out and pour out and pour out myself into other people without recharging and refilling, there's nothing left to give. I've been at that place in my life where I did that on a constant basis, where I poured and poured and poured into other people's lives, and I never refilled my own, and I never respected my personal boundaries, and therefore other people didn't respect my personal boundaries. And so it turned me to burnout. Like I completely burnt out, and I got to the point to where I didn't want to minister anymore. And it wasn't because I didn't have the heart and the calling and the passion, but it was because I never took care of myself. So I think today we put such an expectation on pastors to be perfect and to always give and pour into other people's lives. But what people don't realize is that we are humans too, and we are imperfect. We are perfectly imperfect. And that pastors need just as much or even more care than a congregational member does, because pastors take on the burdens and take on the concerns and cares of the congregation. It is a thankless job. It is a difficult job. And I don't even call it a job, it's a calling. And so a lot of pastors, there's a high percentage of pastors that deal with depression and anxiety. And pastors need help too. We are people, we are human beings, we are not perfect. And so I think that's what's really coming out of my heart as I'm trying to process depression and tell you guys this at the same time. So back to the video. And so before you say I'm not a genuine person by hiding my depression or allowing myself to not show my depression to other people, I am genuine. Second thing I'd have to say to you in particular, who would troll people like that, because if you're not going to say it to me and you say it to someone else, the second thing I have to say to you is, how dare you? How dare you mess with someone's mental illness? How dare you mess with someone who is going through something, right? That's not your place. Stay in your lane. And the third thing I would say is, there is a place and time for me to allow my depression to be a teaching moment for other people. And I do my best to allow that to happen. But today has been a decent day. I still have a list of a mile long of things that I need to do and I need to accomplish. And this comes with every single depressive cycle where I'm in depression, I'm down in the dumps, I don't function, but things still need to be done, right? And then things keep piling up. And so I latch on to the good days of when I'm coming out of, where I'm in the cycle and I'm on the ebb and flow. I latch on to the peaks, because those peaks are what allow me to kind of keep my life in some semblance of an order while I'm going through depression. Before I got therapy and before I got help, I would allow myself to stay in the valleys of depression. And even on the peak days, I would allow myself to stay in the valleys, and my house reflected it, my mental capacity and my mental state reflected it, my life reflected that, and I was a mess. When you get to the moments to where you're feeling great and you're feeling okay, even if it's just for an hour, do something for yourself. Make your bed. Put away the dishes. Take out the trash. Do something for yourself that's gonna help the environment around you to help you come out of this depression, because environment's a lot. And when you're in depression, it's a horrible, horrible cycle where your environment reflects your mental state in the way that you live. Let me show you guys real quick. Daniel would kill me if you guys saw what I'm about to show you, but this is to kind of help you guys understand. When you are in a depressive state and in your mental state, this is what happens to things around you, okay? Bed's not made. Clothes piling up in the corner. Folded clothes piling up. My dresser in shambles, okay? The floor needs to be vacuumed. All of these things, right? Look at that, that vanity, right? So today, what my goal today is to bring myself into a place to where it's a little bit functionable. So if I go back down into, sorry, the cat is also telling me that I need to love on her. So if I go back down into a depressive state over the next 2 or 3 days, that my environment is not contributing as much as it would. You know, so if my environment's cleaner, it's going to help me come out of my depression a lot quicker. So that being said, if you are dealing with some kind of depression, if you're dealing with some kind of anxiety, look for your peak. Look for the day that you're feeling okay. Even if you're feeling okay for 5 minutes, do a speed clean for 5 minutes. That's going to make you function and feel a lot better. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. It's one of those things that's always been really difficult to share. As I watch this day 4 of a depression cycle, I can see the hope in my eyes, and I can see the determination that I always feel inside whenever I'm going through it. If you are someone who struggles with depression, I encourage you 100% to reach out to a licensed therapist that shares the same values that you do. It meant the world to me to find someone who shares my Christian values and who can help me through issues based on those values. If you are a friend or a family member of someone who suffers with depression, I encourage you to take the concepts that you've learned in this video and apply them to your life as you deal with that person. For me, it's meant the world to me whenever my family or my friends come over and they notice my house is in a state, and they don't necessarily ask permission, they just do. And it's one of the things that has really just been life-changing for me, is when they come over and they just clean the kitchen, or they come over and they straighten up or sweep or mop. You know, it takes so much pressure off of me that I can deal with my depression without having to deal with everything else that's piling up. So I wouldn't necessarily share this video with someone who's suffering with depression, but I would take the principles and concepts you've learned and see how they can help you help them. I want to be able to reach people for positive change, whether that's putting a little creativity in their life, or putting a little good food in their stomach, or helping them through a tough time. That's just kind of my desire with this channel. So if you would like to subscribe to this channel, hit the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of the screen and turn on the notifications so you are notified every time I drop a new video. I also would appreciate it if you invited your family and friends to also subscribe to this channel. That definitely helps me as a YouTuber to be able to make more content suited for you. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time. Want to see more? Subscribe here to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you are notified every time I drop a video. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates and paintings. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.